Sit quietly for a moment and observe your breath. Life after 50 is not a decline but a gentle turning inward, a time when the body asks for care and the spirit seeks harmony. In this stage, even the smallest elements in your surroundings can shape your well-being. Among these, plants are silent companions. They do not speak, yet they teach balance, patience, and healing. There are 7 humble plants that, when welcomed into your home, can become guardians of health and calm. First, the sacred leaf of aloe. It asks for little, yet gives much. Its cool gel soothes the skin, heals wounds, and supports digestion. Keeping it nearby is like having a quiet healer sitting in the corner waiting to serve without demand. Second, the gentle fragrance of lavender. Its presence calms the restless mind and invites deep sleep. As the years pass, sleep sometimes becomes fragile. Lavender restores that lost rhythm, reminding the mind how to rest. Third, the strong and purifying snake plant. It breathes when you sleep, releasing fresh oxygen into the air. In silence, it cleans what you cannot see, protecting your lungs and easing your breath. Fourth, the holy basil. Its leaves carry warmth and strength. It supports the immune system and brings clarity to the mind. Just touching its leaves can feel like touching stillness itself. Fifth, the ever-humble mint. It refreshes, cools, and aids digestion. A simple leaf in warm water can ease discomfort and bring lightness to the body. Sixth, the bright green spider plant. It absorbs toxins and purifies the air around you. Like a quiet guardian, it keeps your environment clean and balanced. Seventh, the peaceful chamomile. Its flowers, when brewed into tea, calm the nerves and soften the weight of the day. Understand this, these plants do not perform miracles. They simply align with nature, and in doing so, they help you return to your natural state. Health is not something you chase outside, it is something you cultivate gently, day by day. Place these plants where you live, where you breathe, where you rest. Care for them, and in return, they will care for you. In watering them, you water your own life. In watching them grow, you remember that growth never truly ends. After 50, the greatest wisdom is simplicity. Fewer worries, softer thoughts, and a closer connection to nature. These plants are not just decorations, they are reminders that healing can be quiet, steady, and always within reach. Nature supports healing in later life. After 50, the body and mind need gentle care. And surrounding yourself with natural elements like plants helps restore balance and inner peace. After the age of 50, life begins to speak in a quieter voice. The body no longer rushes as it once did, and the mind starts to seek peace instead of noise. In this gentle phase, healing does not come from force or complexity, but from softness, balance, and connection with the natural world. Nature in its silent wisdom offers support without asking anything in return. When you bring elements of nature into your home, you are not just decorating your space, you are inviting harmony into your life. Plants in their stillness teach a powerful lesson. They grow without hurry, adapt without complaint, and give without expectation. When you sit near them, something subtle begins to change within you. Your breath slows, your thoughts soften, and your heart feels a little lighter. This is not magic, it is alignment. The human body, even after many years, still recognizes the rhythm of nature and responds to it with quiet healing. At this stage of life, health becomes less about pushing forward and more about maintaining balance. The air you breathe, the calmness of your surroundings, and the energy within your home all begin to matter more deeply. Plants gently improve all of these. They clean the air, add moisture, and create a sense of peace that no artificial object can provide. Their presence reduces stress without effort, helping the mind settle into a state of ease. There is also a deeper connection that forms when you care for a living thing. Watering a plant, touching its leaves, and watching it grow creates a sense of purpose and calm. It reminds you that life continues to unfold slowly and beautifully, regardless of age. This simple act of nurturing becomes a form of meditation, bringing awareness to the present moment. In this way, nature becomes a quiet companion on your journey. It does not promise instant change, but it offers steady support. And often it is this gentle, consistent presence that brings the most lasting healing. Simple plants offer powerful health benefits. Plants such as aloe, lavender, and basil provide healing effects, from improving digestion and immunity to calming the mind and aiding sleep. As life moves beyond 50, the body begins to communicate in softer signals. Energy may not rise as quickly as before, sleep may feel lighter, and the mind may sometimes carry more weight than it used to. In such a phase, healing is not found in haste or complexity, but in returning to simple, natural rhythms. One of the most overlooked sources of support in this stage of life is the quiet presence of plants inside the home. When you bring plants into your living space, you are inviting living energy that continuously works without interruption. Some plants gently purify the air by filtering toxins, while others increase oxygen levels during the night, helping the body rest more deeply. This subtle improvement in air quality can make breathing easier and reduce fatigue over time. The environment begins to feel lighter, and with that lightness, the mind also begins to relax. There is also a psychological comfort that plants provide. After years of responsibilities, stress, and constant thinking, the human mind naturally seeks calm. Greenery has a unique effect on the nervous system. Simply looking at leaves, watching their slow growth, or noticing the way they respond to sunlight can reduce mental tension. It reminds the observer that life does not need to be rushed. Everything grows at its own pace, and that truth alone brings relief. Caring for plants also introduces a gentle routine into daily life. Watering them, adjusting their position for sunlight, or simply checking their condition creates small moments of mindfulness. These actions do not feel like tasks, they feel like quiet conversations with life itself. Over time, this connection builds patience, emotional balance, and a sense of purpose that supports mental well-being. In later years, emotional health becomes just as important as physical health. Plants support both. They soften the atmosphere of a home, reduce feelings of isolation, and bring a sense of companionship without words. Even a small corner filled with greenery can transform the mood of an entire room. In this way, plants become silent partners in aging gracefully. They do not demand attention, yet they give constant support. And in their quiet presence, one learns that health is not only about living longer, but about living more peacefully with balance, awareness, and gentle connection to the natural world. Clean air and calm environment matter. Plants like snake plant and spider plant quietly purify the air, improving breathing and creating a healthier living space. As the years move beyond 50, life begins to reveal a different kind of wisdom. The rush of earlier days slowly fades, and what remains is a deeper awareness of the body, the mind, and the environment we live in. In this stage, health is no longer just about strength or activity, but about peace, balance, and gentle restoration. One of the most natural ways to support this transition is by surrounding oneself with plants that quietly improve both physical and emotional well-being. Plants have a subtle yet powerful influence on human life. They do not speak, but their presence changes the atmosphere of a home in ways that medicine alone cannot. Some plants help cleanse the air, removing invisible impurities that may affect breathing and energy levels. Others release oxygen or calming fragrances that support better sleep and reduce stress. Over time, living in such an environment allows the body to feel lighter and more refreshed without any conscious effort. Beyond their physical benefits, plants also nourish the mind. In later years, it is common for thoughts to become heavier and for the mind to revisit past worries or future concerns. Green plants gently interrupt this cycle. Their steady growth and quiet presence remind us that life is not meant to be forced. When you observe a plant, you see patience in its purest form. It grows slowly yet steadily without comparison or resistance. This simple observation can soften anxiety and bring the mind back to the present moment. There is also healing in the act of caring. When a person waters a plant, adjusts its position, or removes a dry leaf, they engage in a mindful practice without even realizing it. These small actions create rhythm in daily life. They offer purpose without pressure and responsibility without burden. Over time, this nurturing behavior reflects back onto the self, encouraging self-care and emotional stability. In a world that often feels fast and demanding, plants offer a quiet contrast. They do not rush, they do not compete, and they do not complain. Yet they give continuously. For those over 50, this gentle companionship becomes especially meaningful. It brings comfort to solitude, softness to the environment, and calmness to the mind. In the end, plants are not just decorations or objects of beauty. They are living reminders that health grows best in peace, that healing often happens silently, and that the simplest connections with nature can bring the deepest form of well-being. Daily rituals create well-being, caring for plants using mint or chamomile, and interacting with nature builds small daily habits that nurture both physical and emotional health. After 50, life naturally begins to slow its outer pace, but inwardly it often becomes more reflective and sensitive. The body asks for gentler care, and the mind starts valuing calm over constant activity. In this stage, true wellness is not about chasing strength, but about maintaining harmony between environment, emotions, and daily habits. One of the most effective yet simple ways to support this balance is by living closely with plants inside the home. Plants create a living atmosphere that quietly improves both health and mood. Their presence is not loud or demanding, but steady and supportive. Many indoor plants naturally purify the air, reducing harmful elements and increasing freshness. This cleaner air can help the lungs feel more open and reduce feelings of heaviness in the body. Over time, even this small improvement can support better energy levels and more restful sleep, which becomes increasingly important with age. Beyond physical benefits, plants also work deeply on emotional well-being. In later years, the mind may sometimes carry memories, worries, or quiet loneliness. The simple presence of greenery helps soften these emotions. Looking at plants has a calming effect on the nervous system, gently slowing down racing thoughts. Their slow, natural growth reminds us that life does not need to be hurried. Everything unfolds in its own time, and this understanding brings a deep sense of relief. Caring for plants also becomes a meaningful daily practice. Watering them, observing new leaves, or simply ensuring they receive light introduces a gentle structure into the day. These small actions are not stressful, instead they feel grounding. They encourage mindfulness, patience, and a quiet sense of responsibility that feels light rather than heavy. This daily interaction with living nature slowly builds emotional strength and stability. In a world filled with noise and pressure, plants offer silence that heals. They do not ask for attention, yet they give continuous support in return. For those over 50, this companionship becomes especially valuable. It creates a home environment that feels softer, safer, and more peaceful. Ultimately, plants remind us that health is not only physical strength but also emotional calm and environmental harmony. In their quiet presence, life becomes more balanced, more aware, and more gently connected to nature's steady rhythm. True wellness comes from simplicity and harmony. Health is not about chasing complex solutions, but about living simply, staying connected to nature, and maintaining inner balance over time. After the age of 50, life enters a stage where wisdom becomes more important than speed, and peace becomes more valuable than achievement. The body may not respond as quickly as before, but the awareness of how to live well becomes much deeper. In this period, small and natural changes in the home environment can have a meaningful impact on overall health. Among the simplest and most effective of these changes is the presence of plants. Plants bring a quiet intelligence into the home. They continuously interact with the air, the light, and the space around them. Many indoor plants help reduce indoor pollutants and refresh the environment, creating cleaner air that supports easier breathing. This subtle improvement in air quality can make a noticeable difference in energy levels, especially for those whose bodies are becoming more sensitive with age. A fresher atmosphere also contributes to better rest, allowing the mind and body to recover more fully during sleep. However, the influence of plants goes far beyond physical benefits. As people grow older, emotional well-being becomes just as important as physical health. Plants help create an environment that feels calm, stable, and emotionally supportive. Their green presence naturally reduces stress and encourages a slower, more mindful way of thinking. Observing the steady growth of a plant can be deeply grounding. It quietly teaches that life is not meant to be rushed, and that every stage has its own rhythm and value. Caring for plants also introduces gentle structure into daily life. Simple actions such as watering, trimming, or rotating a plant towards sunlight bring a sense of purpose without pressure. These routines are light but meaningful. They encourage consistency and mindfulness, which helps stabilize emotions and reduce feelings of restlessness or isolation. Over time, this quiet interaction with living things can create a stronger connection to the present moment. In the later years of life, this connection becomes especially important. Plants do not judge, demand, or rush. They simply exist, grow, and offer their presence freely. In return, they bring a sense of companionship that is subtle yet deeply comforting. Ultimately, plants remind us that health is not found only in treatments or efforts, but also in the spaces we live in and the calm we choose to cultivate around us.